happy week of the marathon. I hope everyone's really excited and all your hard work is going to pay off with this exciting, wonderful, and beautiful weekend this weekend that we're going to have for this race. My name is Sally Nguyen. I'm a Twin Cities ambassador this year, and I'm going to share some tips and tricks that I do before my race and just prepare for my race. And also, I'm going to give you some myth busters about marathon running. So if this is your first race or your 10th race, hopefully you can find some value in this. But this year will be my 13th, I believe, marathon. And this will be 14 years? 14 years since I did this race. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful race and a fun time and being with all of you guys. So, okay, let's talk about the pre-race marathon. So, pre-race marathon, all week I try to just clean up my diet, kind of do the normal things I normally do, but not change too many things, right? Like your body's just used to what you're eating, how you're sleeping, trying to sleep a little bit more, trying to rest a little bit more, not doing anything crazy. So no, like trying out a new kickboxing class or something like that. Like, don't do that this week, okay? Save it till afterwards as a reward. But basically the day of the race, I tend to get up about 3 hours before race time, just because I want to get the jitters out of my system. I want to just have a calm morning. I like to have my tea. I like to have my brown rice and like avocado, or brown rice and I should say brown rice cake and a little bit of almond butter on there. So that's kind of how I start my day and my breakfast. I just kind of sit around, I read a book, watch TV, and just kind of chill. And then hopefully I'll use the bathroom before we leave. But I usually like to get to the race about an hour early. So I have everything planned out, where I'm gonna park, what I'm gonna be wearing. Everything's laid up the night before, so I don't have to think about it too much. I don't have to fuss and I don't have to worry, right? These are all the things that I've done during the training. So, meaning I've worn this outfit before, I've tried it out, I've tried the socks, no new socks, same old shoes, nothing new there. You know, I have it all laid out with my bib number, my race belts, because that's what I use, and all the things, and all the things I'm going to carry with me on my run. So things that I use is the sports goo, or whatever goo that you use. So I use Huma. I have my Jolly Ranchers. I have ibuprofen with me, and I think that's it. Yeah, so I have those with me in my pockets as I'm running, and then I plan out ahead of time, like know when your water stops are, and then know when you're gonna stop for a water stop. So there's plenty on the route, so you're not gonna have to stop for every single one of them. Don't do anything different from your race, from your training, right? So do the same things as you've always done for your training. So if you stop every 5 miles, so there should be, I believe, a water stop every 2.5 miles. So just kind of plan accordingly. So that's my first tip. My second tip, get up early. Third tip, get to the race early, just in case if you need to use the bathroom beforehand. You want to make sure you have time to warm up. If you're meeting people, you know where you're going to meet them, know where to park, know what your plan is for afterwards. Get all those details out of the way before you even like have to think about it this week. Like, plan that ahead of time, okay? And then plan where you're going to meet your spectators, your friends, your family afterwards, or your other runners after the race, so you don't have to like run around and try to chase people down. If you are doing a bag drop off, that is going to be at the expo this year. It's not going to be beforehand on race day. And so get all that prepared, so you get those jitters out, okay? And then after the race, well, let's talk about some of the myths, right? Some of the myths that we talk about during the runs. One of the myths is you're gonna lose toenails, okay? I can say I've never lost toenails during a marathon. However, I have lost toenails on a 50-mile run. So myth busted. Myth busted for me. I mean, that's not for everyone though. So one of the things that I would say, if that's the case for you, make sure you trim your toenails early on in this week, so that they're short, so they're not kind of bumping against the toe part of your shoe, the front of your shoe. And then For me, like I tend to get certain blisters, certain areas. So what I do for that is I would use like Body Glide, or you could probably use Vaseline too. But Body Glide your foot area where you would get the blister, and then put your socks on, and then I would Body Glide the sock too before you put your shoes on. That will just help with the friction either on the inside and the outside of the shoe. So that's always helped me. I usually get blisters around my arch because I have flat feet, and then around my toes, because sometimes tying the shoe, I always bump it. You know, it's not always the tightest as I want it, and so that will affect how my feet feels in my shoe. Okay, so first myth busters, you will lose toenails. So for some, possibly yes. I have lost toenails, but not for a marathon. Myth buster number 2, you're gonna pee or poop your pants. Well, that one's up to you. I guess I don't take myself that seriously, so I would say that I've never done that, but doesn't mean that you can't. If you're going for a PR time and you're within seconds, I might at that point. But you know, if you're gonna win the race, like if you're gonna come in first or second and you're really going for it, and it comes down to either you're gonna poop or pee your pants, maybe at that point I would, but I don't know. I have a hard time saying I'm gonna do that, so I'd rather just stop or pop a squat somewhere instead. Myth buster number 3. Let's see, another myth buster I would say is that you're gonna be really sore afterwards, like it's gonna be really hard to go upstairs. I think that's a myth. I mean, I shouldn't say it's a myth. It probably is hard to go upstairs, but I would say it's harder to go downstairs and to sit down on the toilet. I think that is worse than actually standing up. I can still remember back to my first marathon. This was quite a while ago, and that was the thing. It was so hard to sit down. It was not as hard to stand up. So I'm gonna say that's a myth buster. So those are just some few things that you probably have heard along the way with marathon training, but I have to say that it is so much fun at the end when you have accomplished such a wonderful goal to finish and say that you finished a marathon. You should really, really feel accomplished at that point and really pat yourself on the back, and congratulations if it's your first or your 15th or your 50th. It doesn't really matter. It's still really rewarding to say that you can do that. So I hope everyone has a really great race weekend. Have lots of fun. If nothing else, we're supposed to have beautiful weather, so just go out there and enjoy. So thanks, guys.